Test, test, check, 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 check. Test, test.
Test, test, test. So family and friends, if I could have everyone's attention, please. Family, in a few short minutes, we're going to begin this morning's celebration of life. Before we begin, I just kindly ask that everyone silence their cell phones. And to anyone who would like a hot cup of coffee or tea, now is the time to do so, and then we'll begin our service momentarily. Thank you. I'll be looking to them. So, we're going to begin. Okay. Greetings to family and friends. My name is Andrew Pratt, and it's with great appreciation I speak before you today. Welcome to our Celebration of Life service for Rob James Silljer. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Amen. We gather today to say goodbye to a man who led a great life. We're here today because our lives have been touched by Rob. The longer you knew him, the more you realized how remarkable of a man he was. His devotion to family, loyalty to his friends, faithfulness to anyone who came into contact with him. A man of many passions, as you all fondly know. In today's fast-paced society, one of the highest compliments you can give a man is one of the most simplest things to say. And when it's said, is even more powerful from the heart. He's a good man. To those before me today, you know this fact all too well. It's not lost on you. I could spend hours going over the qualities and attributes of Rod, facts that you already know. His passion for the great outdoors, his love of hunting, fishing, camping, his culinary skills in the kitchen are just some of his joys, and along with being a certified electrician until his retirement, Rob led a very, very full life. And it's one thing to hear these facts put forward from me, but it's another to be put forward by someone close to him. So now at this time, I'd like to call upon Shay to come forward to speak the eulogy.
All right, good morning. Just adjust that. There we go. It's an honor to stand here today and speak about someone who meant so much to all of us. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Shay. I'm Rob's son, Kai's partner. I've had the pleasure of having Rob in my life over the last 7 years. I met Rob in 2018 on one of my first trips back to Saskatchewan with Kai. As it goes meeting parents in a new relationship, I was nervous and eager to make a good impression. Thankfully, those nerves didn't last long. Sure, Rob had a tough exterior, but it didn't take long to see there was nothing to be afraid of. He definitely wasn't ever shy about sharing his opinion, but he was also quick to lend a hand and always checked in. I know we're here today because Rob touched our lives, and I'm grateful to be part of this moment where we remember him together. Rob was born in 1962 and raised right here in Moose Jaw, growing up in his family home on Moose Square. From everything I've heard, his childhood was filled with mischief and adventure, often with his brother Fred and his many cousins. During Rob's final days in Kelowna, I had the chance to meet many of those cousins, and the stories flowed easily. Tales of getting into trouble together, whether it was in Moose Jaw or on family trips to BC. Those family visits mattered deeply to Rob, and that love of family time carried through from his boyhood right into adulthood. As Rob grew up and into a teenager, Rob's years continued to be full of adventure, and probably a few headaches for his mom, Helen. All jokes aside, in his teen years, he had a passion for anything with a motor, whether it was fixing them up in the garage or spending time with family and friends driving them. After high school, Rob worked in a care home here in Moose Jaw. I've heard the residents described him as happy and jovial. Later, he pursued a career as an electrician, earning his Red Seal, a milestone that he was very proud of. Over the years, he built not just a career, but strong friendships along the way, which is what has brought many of you to this room today. Rob spent many years working as an electrician in the healthcare industry before he officially retired in 2023. Rob's goal was to move out to Kelowna with his cousin Anne-Marie following retirement. He likely would have moved out sooner, but it was important to him to stay here in Moose Jaw close to his parents. Staying in Moose Jaw has never just been about convenience, it's also about commitment. He was devoted to his parents, Joe and Helen, and was always there for them, whether it was helping with a move or just showing up when it mattered. He never missed a birthday or a holiday with them. The same loyalty extended to his children. One of Rob's greatest prides in life was being a father. On March 29, 1993, Rob welcomed his daughter Salem into the world. A year later, on May 30th, 1994, his son Kai was born. Rob was incredibly proud of Salem and Kai. He shared his love of the outdoors with his kids and took them on many camping trips over the years. While on these adventures, at likely much too young of an age, he took advantage of the open roads and taught them how to drive despite being barely able to see over the steering wheel. Additionally, he took them on many trips to his aunt and uncle's farm south of Moose Jaw, as well as around Saskatchewan and British Columbia. As his kids grew up, he was there to cheer them on by coaching Kai's baseball and biathlon teams and showing up to watch Salem's curling and volleyball games. As they got older, he loved hearing stories about their adventures, whether it was Salem's travels and stories about teaching abroad or Kai's ski trips to Japan. As I just mentioned, Rob enjoyed spending time outdoors every chance he got. If Rob had a free moment, you could bet he would be outside. He enjoyed getting away to go camping and sitting by the fire with friends in the summer, but he also enjoyed simple ways to get outside, like doing yard work at his house. Rob was passionate about camping, even up until his final days. Shortly before going out to Kelowna, he was on Facebook Marketplace trying to barter someone down for a truck camper. If Rob wasn't outside, when you stopped by his house, you could expect to see one of two things on the TV, sports or the Weather Channel. He enjoyed watching baseball, football, or anything competitive. Rob also loved hunting, fishing, shooting, and anything with wheels. On top of that, he enjoyed card games and was one heck of a crib player. Another indoor pastime for Rob was in the kitchen. Rob enjoyed cooking and had grown to perfect his favorite meals. There was no mistaking it, though. When you were in the kitchen with Rob, he was in charge. I remember last Thanksgiving, Salem had volunteered to host us at her house. Once cooking started, Rob was quick to take over, put everyone to work, and gave step-by-step instructions on precisely how it had to be done. Outside his various pastimes, Rob had a distinctive sense of humor and loved teasing people or joking around. As we were looking through the photos that we selected to put on the boards here today, Kai held up a photo of his grandparents and called them Grand Mumu and Grand Poopah. I burst out laughing hearing this, knowing instantly those were names that Rob had come up with. While all the attributes I've shared so far helped honor Rob's memory, what stands out the most to me is his dependability. If you asked Rob for help, no questions asked, he would drop whatever he was doing to be there. A couple of years ago, we were in need of some electrical help at our house, and without question, he jumped in the car and drove 8 hours to come out and help us. As we've been connecting with family and friends since his passing, I've been touched by the sentiments I've heard from others. I've come to learn helping others was a common occurrence for Rob, and he was quick to be there for a friend in need. Rob's legacy isn't just in the stories we tell today. We can remember him as we continue to do the things he loved. We'll remember him while we're watching a Blue Jays game, tinkering around the garage, or enjoying a fire under the stars. I feel blessed to have been part of Rob's life, and I will be forever grateful to him for giving me his son. Rob, thank you for the love and the laughter and the lessons. You'll always be with us and in our hearts and in our stories, and in the lives you've touched. We love you, we miss you, and we'll never forget you. Thank you.
Thank you, Shay. As she was leaving, she had my notes here, and as my kids can always say, Dad, your memory is good, but it is very short. So yeah. It's been said that grief is the price we pay for love. And as a funeral director, those words are not lost on me. I see that almost every single day. And each of us here, we love. And thus, when we love someone, we grieve. And it's that love that has your hearts feeling heavy and eyes filled with tears. Let our hearts and words we share today in public and in private be of solace and comfort. Salem and Kai, you're left with the gifts of memory. Memories that are only unique to you and to both Salem and Kai. Yes, you had the same dad, you shared the same blood, but those memories that you have are so different than one another. They're private, they're personal. Hold them close to your heart as they're a legacy of your father, a gift, as you will. As a father myself, I know the power and blessing of being a dad. And though I didn't know your father, I can certainly understand and relate to him the joy that he felt when spending time with you both. As long as you remember your dad, and as long as his name is spoken, he's never far from your heart. And now at this time, I'd like to call upon Anne Marie and Mike to offer a few words as well.
Go ahead. Ladies first.
Hi, everyone. I'm sure happy to see everyone here today. I am Rob's cousin, Anne Marie. And I have the pleasure to call Rob had many friends and a few lifetime friends. And today, Rob was always willing to help his friends in any way he could, never a question asked. He's always be there. Rob and I have been close since we were kids. As we grew up, some years had gaps where we really didn't talk or see each other much. But we always knew that our parents were talking about us, so we always knew what each other were doing. Rob was my very best friend. He was my cousin. As we don't share DNA, but we carry the family. We carry the family in a very different way, not always recognized. We hold pieces of the past, stories about our parents before we were born, and unspoken traditions that we have of the past that were handed down over the years. We had a very special bond, Rob and I, as we shared secrets, a shoulder to cry on, a partner in crime for all the trickery we did. And we had some inside jokes. And Rob always said he could truly be himself, and I could be myself with him, no questions asked. We had a closeness like a sibling bond, but it was different because there's a distance between us and a space that is different than siblings, so there's no friction. Rob was a priceless gift to us all through his friendship. He was like a big brother to my sons, Jeffrey, Alex, and Trevor, teaching, giving advice, chatting on the phone, and they even had their own Facebook chat where they could send memes and things that they could laugh about. Rob and I went to Mexico, and we all know Rob. He doesn't like any personal information to be dispersed anywhere. We're in an open kind of hacienda bar, and a couple sits beside us, and they start chatting us up. And we chat for a while, and they asked if we're married, and I said, yes, we were both married, and chat a little more. Then they asked if we have children. He says, he's not talking now, he's giving me the eyes. He says, I say, yeah, we both have children. And then we chat some more, and then I say, but we're just cousins. Well, that couple moved so quickly out of here. And Rob says to me, how did you think of that? I said, I don't know, it just came out. He goes, should I buy some overalls and paint my tooth black? And like we laughed and laughed and laughed. Rob was supposed to come to Kelowna to move into Kelowna, and we were supposed to retire together and spend time traveling, cooking, and just having some fun. But that chapter will have to close as Rob started a new chapter and to follow. And so I'll miss him. I want to say rest in peace, my friend. I'll see you again, but it won't be for some time. And I love you, buddy.
Good morning. Just to let you guys, I'm Mike. Our friendship with Rob started a long time ago. That got me to thinking, how long ago was that? Well, that was back in 1976. It was at Peacock. That's 49 years ago. I didn't think time flies fast enough. I didn't realize that it had been that long that I'd been a friend with Rob. So lots of memories come to my mind, but one kind of stuck out of who Rob was. There were 4 of us that decided we were going to go skiing in Banff. Myself, Dave, Rob, and Brad. Brad was a key component to that because his uncle actually lived in Banff, and us being young people, we didn't have much money, so being able to stay with an uncle kind of saved us money and allowed us to spend more time doing skiing and stuff. Well, I'd never skied. Rob said, "Don't worry, I'll help you out." Those are famous last words. So the next day we went skiing, had to rent everything, so your boots, your poles, the skis. Going up the lift, Rob is coaching me, kind of giving me some pointers, keep your knees together and legs together and push off with your pole and stuff. So we get to the top, kind of get situated, and I looked and I said, "Then what?" And all of a sudden I felt a little hand give me a shove. Lesson was over. So, as everybody has said, or other ones have said here, Rob's always the first to help you. And so, lots of times I wouldn't see Rob, but we chat back and forth, or I'd send him a text and maybe he wouldn't reply back right away. But if my phone rang on a Saturday morning at about 6:30 or a Sunday, guess what? It was Rob. He was either doing the dishes, laundry, or he was cooking something like one of his soups or whatever he was busy doing. And we would chat. And the chats usually were minimum at least an hour or longer, and sometimes over 2 hours. I don't remember what we chatted about, we just chatted. Well, last year, I was going to do some work in my garage, so Rob and I had talked about that, and he said, "Was anyone going to help you?" I said, "Well, I was going to try and get my wife, Lori, to help me." And I says, "That will have some challenges in its own if you have your wife help you." Some of you guys might know that, maybe some of you don't, but it was a challenge for me. So on the weekend, the next following weekend, I was going to start sheeting the garage, and sure enough, who shows up? Rob. Didn't ask him, but he's just there. So for the time that we sheeted the garage, and it took us a bit, like we didn't do it all the time. Each time we did it, he helped. He also helped me with some electrical work, which was really nice. But when it comes time to help Rob back, I always, "Do you need this? Do you need that?" No, I'm good. That's what I always get. He was a real hard person to try and help back, because he was always first and willing to help you. So the last year for Rob wasn't the greatest year for him, with the surgery, the recovery, the chemo, and all the stuff that's associated with that. Rob would have good days, bad days. Sometimes he would call, if you text, he might text back right away and say, "I'm not feeling good, I'll text you when I'm feeling better." So 3-4 days later, he'd text or call. Rob, so again, I asked, "Do you need any help with your yard work?" Because he just didn't have the strength, and I know he wasn't doing anything. And same question I always got: No, I'm good, I've got it covered, Mike. All right. I just loaded up my lawnmower and went over. Started cutting the grass. And all of a sudden there was him sitting on the step looking at me, kind of shaking his head. And I kind of just kept going, did what I did, smiled, finished it, and then he goes, "Thanks, I really appreciate it." I said, "Well, all you have to do, you don't have to ask, or you've helped me enough. This is the least I can do to try and help you out when you're struggling a little bit." I said, "I'll go back and do the backyard yet." Nope. I got it covered. Okay, all right. So I just let it be. I'm not going to have somebody, I did the front, so it looked good. So I was happy that I at least got to help him out a little bit. So one thing Shay made mention that Rob was, at the end here, he was still looking for a camper or something to go camping with. Again, he liked camping, and he said, "We have to go do some camping." So he was looking at whether he was going to get just a cap or something more. And he come over on the Sunday, and he was trying to set things up and couldn't get hold of the people. because if there was some in Regina he wanted to look at, he wasn't strong enough to drive. I was just going to drive for him. We would go check it out. We couldn't set anything up, so we just had a visit instead. So I'm going to end this what I told Rob the last time I saw him. Love you, buddy.
And Marie and Mike, thank you for those beautiful words and reflections. Family and friends, we are thankful for the life of Rob. It is painful to gather for this reason because we are saying goodbye. But in the midst of pain, we do give thanks. We've been gifted with memories, stories, and boundless love. And as we hold this celebration of life service, we remember all the good times that were spent together with him. We recount the blessings we received and are so grateful for the time shared. And now I'd like to call upon Dale to offer a few words of insight as well.
Good morning. I'm Dale, and I was Rob's cousin, a few years younger than him, and I'm the cousin where they visited the farm. And when I was a kid, we saw Rob pretty frequently, when we came to Moose Jaw or when Rob and his family came out to our farm, or often when we visited Grandpa Reimer in Moose Jaw. And I remember lots of good times with Rob. He was always really ready to help us younger cousins figure out how to fit into the city, or to help us learn things that we hadn't done before, maybe like snowmobiling. And I remember riding Rob's motorbike. I think it was pretty new, and I was pretty small, and I couldn't really reach down to the ground, and I put it over, and I remember thinking later when I was older, thinking, man, I would have gotten mad if that had been me, but Rob was good with it. Rob was always really generous and always willing to help out with things and spend time with us. And he taught me lots of things, including like how to drive the old standard grain truck when I thought I was like a ripe old age of 10 or something like that, and I needed to know how to do that, and my dad hadn't taught me yet. Rob's generosity and kindness continued as an adult, and I didn't see him as often, but we always visited when we were down here visiting Auntie Helen and Uncle Joe. Rob would always make sure he was around to see us. And it was just great to talk to Rob on those occasions when I got to see him. And, Rob was a real help to his parents as they got older. And I also appreciate how much he kept track and kept in touch with my mom as well. I think she really appreciated that. And I'm really going to miss Rob. I'd like to read a few verses as well from Matthew 11:28-30. Come to me, all you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give you is light. Love you, Rob.
Family and friends, as our service this morning draws to a close, I just like to offer you a thank you on behalf of the staff of the funeral home for allowing us to be with you on this day. To Salem and Kai, thank you for the opportunity to speak. I know before you I'm a complete stranger, but a stranger nonetheless. I'm very honored by your trust that you put in me this morning. From the stories I've heard about your dad, he truly was a remarkable man, so thank you for allowing me to share in this morning with you. And in closing, I'd like to offer an Irish blessing. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and as the rains fall soft upon your fields, and until we meet again, may God hold you in the hollow of his hands. Peace be with each and every one of you today. And now before the end of our service, I would like to, or encourage everyone to please stay and enjoy each other's fellowship over a hot cup of coffee or tea. The service after the fellowship is just important as this part, as this is a time of sharing memories, of sharing tears, of sharing laughters of a great man. But before we close, I'd like to call upon Shay and Kai just to offer just some lasting words and an invite.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for coming. It means the world to us. Yeah, I don't have a lot to say. Just a thanks. Please stick around after and visit. I have seen a lot of faces thus far, and I'd like to say hello to everyone I haven't seen yet. We are welcoming a lunch after. There's going to be brisket and pulled pork and some sandwiches and whatnot. So if you want directions to that, probably just come see Salem or I once we're ready to leave. There's going to be people there right after the service getting it ready. So yeah, hot lunch, good
Not
visits. Not here, but come see us and we'll give you directions.
Sure. You want us to tell?
It's just a bit difficult because the address doesn't take
Yeah.
you where you need
Where
to
you
go
need to
on
go.
Google Maps. So I can
yeah.
hand out a pin or
Yeah.
whatever we need to get there, and then
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just in the southwest corner. So
basically the exact opposite corner of Moose
Yes.
Jaw. Probably closer to Mossbank than it is here, but I'm kidding. Just on the other side of the city.
yeah.
So
Okay.
thanks again, everyone, for coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you.
And family and friends, at this point in time, this concludes our morning celebration of life. Please enjoy each other's time of fellowship over coffee and tea. And again, thank you so much for being here this morning. Peace be with you. Thank you.